This is good racing, ladies and gentlemen, here. Look into on the line. The crowd are going bananas again for another Poole 5-1. Good evening, race fans, and we're back at Poole Stadium for tonight's championship fixture. It's the Berwick Bandits in town to take on the Pirates, and the meeting stands evenly poised really, because up at Berwick at the start of the season it was a 2-point victory for the Bandits, and they'll be coming here to try and defend that lead, but you've got to feel that Poole are probably in prime spot to maybe pick up all 3 league points this evening. Since we're last with you, there's been no pirate action, although most of the riders have been out riding in other places. Berwick almost the same really. They've had a disappointing start in some ways. They've dropped out of the BSN series and the Knockout Cup, so they have to concentrate on the league, and they've already started off with a home victory, so they've got work to do to catch up with the rest of the teams in terms of meetings raced. But when you look at the Bandits on paper, while they're going to be no slouches, Craig Cook, Peter Kilderman injured unfortunately and replaced by Leon Flint, Drew Kemp, 3 great heat leaders who can do the business. Sam Hagon and Danyon HUME come into the Bandits lineup as ex-Poole riders, so they'll have a lot to prove here today. Down at reserve, Dayle Wood and the returning Jack Smith will make up the Bandits lineup. Day's been blisteringly hot here. The trackmen have had their work cut out, keeping the circuit in tip-top condition, and we keep our fingers crossed that we're going to have a super speedway meeting and 15 action-packed heats here on the south coast. Join us for some interviews in the pits in a moment or two's time. Okay, we come round to the Poole side of the pits. Louis Kerr's joined us for the pre-meeting interview. Louis, it's a league meeting tonight against Berwick, a team that you know quite well because you were a Bandit last year and did the season up there at Shieldfield Park. Pirates have already been up there, and it's just a 2-point deficit to make up tonight, and that's certainly achievable. Yeah,
it definitely is, and I'd like to think that we're strong enough to do that. Berwick are a really good team, strong throughout, and Craig at number 1, and we know how good Craig Cook can be. So yeah, it's going to have to be a big performance tonight.
Last week it was 10 points for you in the win over Redcar. You're finding your feet here at Poole Stadium.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, I think a few weeks ago I had against Oxford had some mechanical problems, but other than that I think my lowest was 9 and the rest have been paid 10, and so yeah, overall really happy and finding my feet. Yeah.
And overall your season's going quite well because you're now putting in some good scores up in the Premiership with Sheffield, and that must give you confidence when you come to race in the Championship League.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, I've had a good week on the bike and feeling confident, and it's amazing what confidence does. It just changes everything, your mindset. So take that into tonight and hopefully make 4 starts and be good. 5 would be even better, wouldn't it? Yeah, too right.
Just thinking about the weather conditions, it's been a very hot day, blisteringly hot really. Does that affect the setup of the bike as you go forward?
Possibly, yeah. We're going to have a bit less horsepower, so we'll figure it out. We might start a little different tonight. But I feel for the track guys, you know, it's going to be difficult, you know, with keeping the dust down and producing a decent track. So, but yeah, we'll take it race by race.
Well, wishing you all the best for yourself personally and for the team tonight. Hope it goes well for you.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, we've come over to the Berwick side of the pits, and Danyon HUME's with us. Danyon, an ex-Pirate, of course, and it's a great welcome back to you here at Poole Stadium. Championship winner and a cup winner, and must have fond memories here at Poole Stadium.
Oh mate, I love coming down here. It's a great club. Obviously history's proven that, so yeah, the fact the sun is shining, everyone's happy, and yeah, we just want to get on racing tonight.
Now it's Berwick, of course, for you these last couple of seasons, and they've not always had the best of fortunes up there at Shieldfield Park. Last year a bit injury problems, season ended early. This year a few more injury problems, I'm afraid, for the Berwick side. How are you going to overcome that tonight?
Well, we've just got to remain positive, and we've got Jack in now, obviously instead of Bastian, and he's proven he can do the job, and he's capable of doing what he's doing. So yeah, we're all still like high on confidence. Talk about injuries, obviously Peter Kilderman's out as well, so Yeah, we've got Leon in as a guest, another good rider on form, so hopefully he can do a good job for us tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately the Berwick Bandits have gone out of the BSN Trophy and the Cup early days, so the league's the thing to concentrate on.
Exactly, yeah, and we've had a good start. Obviously we've only had one league meeting, but obviously had Poole at home, and we got a win, so we're here tonight high on confidence. I know a lot of the guys have been riding quite a bit, so bike time is crucial, and yeah, we all seem to be getting it at the moment.
Yeah, you've got a 2-point advantage to protect here at the stadium tonight, and any team coming here must be a little bit worried about having just a 2-point lead to keep on our side.
Oh, 100%. Like, we've just got to try and hit the ground running, and almost, I know it's only 2 points, but go on a clean slate for tonight and try and hit the ground running early doors. Hot
day today, Danyon. Track's going to need a lot of attention during the course of the evening, and I guess you'll be keeping your eye on that as the meeting progresses.
100%, and yeah, the way my races are tonight, they're quite spread out, so I've got to try and, like you said, be on top of it and just see how it's changing and see what we can do with the bike to keep it going forward.
Brilliant to welcome you back to Poole. Hope you have a great evening.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Well, there we are. That's the pre-meeting niceties done, and it's a good evening and welcome to everybody who's watching us this evening, whether it's locally in the Poole area or further afield, or even worldwide. You're very welcome to join us.
So here are the lineups for this evening, and we'll start with the away side. At number 1 is Craig Cook. Number 2, former pirate Sam Hagen. Number 3, another former pilot, Danyon HUME, and he comes in as captain for the Bandits. At number 4, Drew Kemp. Yes, you've guessed it, another former pirate for the Bandits. Number 5, guesting in the place of Peter Kilderman, Leon Flint. Number 6, Dayle Wood, and at number 7, Jack Smith. And Stewart DICKSON, the present manager of the Bandits. We move over to the Pirates side, and it's Richard Lawson at number 1. Number 2, Tobias THOMSEN, the donut man. Number 3, Anders Rowe, who forgets his past last week? I don't. Number 4, Zach Cook, he's the captain of the Pirates. Number 5, Lewis Kerr. At number 6, Paul Starke. And at number 7, Darryl RITCHINGS. And the team manager for the Pirates, the most winning manager in present time, the ever-present Neil MIDDLEDITCH, particularly here at Wimborne Road.
There we are, that's the 2 lineups for you this evening, and certainly the Bandits come with 3 heat leaders who could cause a lot of trouble for the Pirates if they hit form on the night, and with 2 former Pirates also in the ranks with Danyon HUME and with Sam Hagen, then yeah, there's no reason why the boys can't really put on a good show. Let's go to the head-to-heads and have a look at what we can see. Of course, this one's going to be a little bit difficult to judge because Jack Smith and Darryl RITCHINGS haven't met here at Wimborne Road before. But on that form, you don't expect too much from Jack Smith, to be perfectly honest. He carries a Wimborne Road average at 1.71, so a couple of points, anything better will be a bonus for them.
Yeah, Paul Starke and Dayle Wood, again, the battle win percentage, they haven't really ridden against each other too much. But it's the high score I look at there, and it's a 10+1 for Starke here, and Dayle Wood's going to have to lift that 2+1, you feel, if the Bandits are going to pressure the Pirates reserves tonight.
We'll go to the head-to-head between the number 5s, Louis Kerr and Leon Flint. Leon coming in as a guest rider tonight in place of the injured Peter Kilderman, and he assumes Kilderman's 7.71 average. They haven't actually met in combat between the 2 individuals here at Wimborne Road, but we do know that last time out Louis Kerr hit 10 points from 4 rides, and he's starting to feel his way into Wimborne Road as a good home track. 12+2 is highest score from 6 rides. That's impressive.
Yeah, so the number 4s then, Zach Cook and Drew Kemp, and there's been some head-to-head battles, and as you can see, Drew Kemp is on the better half of that 5-4 Wimborne Road average. Obviously 8 for Zach, ridden a lot more here than Drew has, but Drew is a former pirate, and look at that high score down the bottom, 13+4 bonus off of 6 rides. 13 plus 2 from Drew Kemp, so looks like it could be an evenly matched this evening.
Yeah, we move to the number 3 position, and Anders Rowe goes back there this week, having been at 5 last week. He's up against Danyon HUME. They've met twice here at Wimborne Road. It's one each in the terms of the battles, but you've got to say that Anders Rowe has started to make strides in this particular league, and of course in the Premiership as well, and with a full 15-point maximum under his belt already here in the sunny south coast, you feel that that particular battle is going to go the Pirates' way.
Yeah, the number 2s then, Tobias Thompson and Sam Hagen. We know that Sam knows this track pretty well indeed. 12 plus 1 for him is his high score here, and Tobias is 10 plus 2. So, and the battles and the win percentages, it's 3 to Sam and 1 to Tobias Thompson. So a ray of light there for the Bandits here in this fixture.
Last but by no means least, top of the shop, Richard Lawson against Craig Cook. Well, they've had 11 battles, as you can see there, and Richard Lawson really holds the upper hand there, 9-2 in his favour. Craig Cook, one of those riders who on the night could produce an absolute storming performance, and if he does that, it's going to put Berwick in a very good, strong position. Richard Lawson, the Rocket Man, well, so hard to beat here at Wimborne Road.
So here's the head-to-head between the two clubs. Championship history, 4 wins to the Pirates, no wins to the Bandits, so that doesn't look good for the Bandits on the history, but Speedway's all on the night. High score for the Pirates, 54, but a capable 41 from the Bandits. So although it does look a little bit of a foregone conclusion for me, I don't think it will be, and here's the league standings.
And Pirates top the table there. They've ridden the most meetings of any of the clubs in the Championship, but they sit pretty at 8 points at the top of the table there, and it looks like it's going to be Glasgow who are going to form the opposition this year. A change in their personnel announced in the last week with Danish rider Vilas Nagel coming in, and Glasgow are the next visitors here at Wimborne Road. Whether Nagel's available for that meeting, we'll have to wait and see. But here's one man who's nearly always available for the Pirates at Wimborne Road, Richard Lawson there, just putting the tear off onto his goggles, ready for action in heat number 1. The track will be a little bit damp, I'm sure, for that first race, because plenty of water's been put down during the course of the last couple of days to try and keep some moisture in, try and stop the dust pluming up to help not only the riders but the supporters as well. Donut Man, he pulled one out of the bag in the first race last week, Tobias Thompson. Very interesting comments from Tobias pre-meeting when he was talking to some sponsors about his racing life and how he has to combine trips in and out of Denmark to ride for the Pirates. A busy man indeed. Here's Louis Kerr, and he's a young man, I think that's probably the wrong expression, one of the more senior riders in the Pirate side. Good concentration on Louis' face. He's hit a good vein of form both for Poole and for Sheffield, and he could be a key component in tonight's outcome.
Zach and Ben Cook there together. Ben actually managed to get a ride in Poland on Sunday, and very well he did too, but had to go into the medical team and was signed off for 7 days after. Felt very sore after, and I've spoken to Ben about that, and he said there was just no chance of riding this week. He said, you know, after injury, always difficult. And there's Poole Starke. Turned the corner, I feel, here at Wimborne Road with the win in the individual meeting a couple of weeks ago. Seemed to find a setup that suited and went a lot better last week than he had done in previous, so we'll be looking for more than that from Poole Starke.
Darryl RITCHINGS on screen there, and it could be his last match for the Pirates tonight, depending on the management's decision. Will Cairns is scheduled to come in at the end of the month, having got to his 16th birthday, but there is some doubt over Cairns' fitness at the moment with his wrist injury, so we may see Darryl RITCHINGS a little bit longer. And there's Anders Rowe just twiddling with his cap there. Heard today that he signed for Ostro in Poland. middle league team in Polska. Not doing too well at the moment. They need a little bit of backup, and with Luke Becker going down, then they've turned to Anders Rowe as the man to see if he can better their fortunes for them.
Yeah, Anders is going to be a busy man indeed. I was looking back through the stats between the two teams before this evening, and the Pirates and the Bandits have ridden. The Bandits have been down here 12 times in previous years, and they have only actually won once here, and that was back in 1989 when Alan Rossiter was the captain of the Pirates, and in that side was a young Lee Adams and Craig Boyce. So to come down here and get that scalp in 89, I think that was called the National League then, in 89, which actually the Pirates went on to win the National League. And
if my memory serves me correctly, Berwick won here 52-44 in a knockout cup final.
Yes, I was talking about league meetings. League meetings I was looking up. So yes, and yeah, on the evening you think, wow, where did Lee Adams, Craig Boyce, whatever happened to those two, and Alan Rossiter, what happened to those guys?
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's very much on the night, as we've said many times this season. You know, you can be odds-on favourites on paper, as Poole would probably think themselves tonight, but just something in the opposition side gels. The Pirates have a mishap or two along the way, and the tables turn just like that.
Interested in 89, Pirates went on to win the National League, and I was reading the stats on the tables, and they had 34 matches that year and won 16 of them, and still managed to win the league. And Berwick were not too far behind. They were a couple of points behind in third place, so a good season for Berwick as well that year.
But I'm thinking about Berwick. Every season they seem to put out a side on paper at the start of the year which you look at and you think, that's got a bit of potential in it. They could do something. And every year, unfortunately, something seems to happen up there, and it railroads or derails their ambitions for the season. And last year, a case in point where they had on paper a very good team, but then injuries struck badly. The meeting here at Poole was contributory to that, where Bastian Bork was injured and lost his place for the rest of the season, and that was just typical of the Bandits' luck. And they finished their season in the middle of August, and the riders were out of work, if you like, for the last 6 weeks of the season. So they're no doubt hoping that this year things will be a little bit different, and they can get a full season in with some successes towards the league championship.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there, Rob. I actually looked at that side at the start of last year and thought, yeah, this really does have potential. And like you say, Lady Luck wasn't on their side, injury-wise and everything last year, but they're always a club that are not too many miles away. They're there and thereabouts, even on the away meetings. They do have a few defeats away, but they tend to pick a really good side of out-and-out triers.
And it's a very friendly club when you go there. The people up there are absolutely super. They support their team to the hilt. And in the Black and Gold Club, after the meetings, you get a very, very fond welcome, warm welcome. And as we said earlier, if anybody's watching from Berwick tonight, it's good evening to you. Your riders are there out on the starting gate, and they'll be introduced to the crowd in just a few moments' time, after the Pirates have paraded the flags out to their positions here at the starting gate.
Yeah, don't forget you can contact us through varying social media sites. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll do our very best to give you a shout out. Here we go. Poole Speedway /.com, Facebook.com/Pirates, X.com, which is fairly easy, Instagram.com, and the good old fashioned World Wide Web info at Poole Speedway /.com. Yeah, it's the Facebook site and the X on social media that we try to use. So do pop us a message, let us know where you're watching from.
And with that, we've got the riders out on track, and we'll be passing over to stadium announcer Nigel Leahy to do the formal introductions.
Indeed, welcome one and all, as always, whether you are here regular, whether you're here supporting the Bandits for the Pirates, or if it's your first time at Poole Speedway. And I know there's a few of you here tonight. A very warm welcome indeed. Well, the Bandits have already claimed the victory over the Pirates with a slender 2-point win on their home show last month. On parade tonight, they've no less than 3 ex-Pirates in their lineup. And although they've lost a key man in Jason Edwards, they've been quick to sign a replacement with a good record around here. Let's meet the Bandits then one more time, please, for the Berwick RED Bandits. Wearing the number 7 race jacket tonight, Jack Smith. Number 6, Dayle Wood. Number 5, guesting for the Bandits, Flint. Number 4 is the first of 3 former Pirates, Kemp. Number 3, a Pirate in 2023, he's now the Bandits captain, Danyon HUME. At 2, he was a Pirate 12 months ago, Hagon. And at number 1, Craig Cook. Over on this side, they're aiming to protect their place at the top of the league. Ironing it behind them, the Poole Wessex Marine Pirates! Number 7, could be his final meeting this evening, Darryl RITCHINGS. Number 6, Poole Starke. At 5, Leahy. Number 4, Captain Zach Cook. Number 3, Rowe. Number 2, Tobias THOMSEN. And they call the number 1 the Rocket Man for good reason, Lawson. So the 2 captains down here, Danyon for the Bandits and Zach for the Pirates. The coin goes up. It's a tail. So it's Zach who wins, and he's calling 1 and 3 for the Pirates.
So last chance for all the riders to check on their setup. So we'd have walked the track, had a little bit of a dig round, gone back in, set the bike up to how they feel the track is going to ride this evening, and then this is their only chance to give it a bit of a rip and see what it's going to do.
Well, we do hope that the angle of the sun isn't affecting your view too badly as we watch the riders going into the first corner there. Hopefully it will improve as the course of the evening goes on, but if that is just a distraction for you, then we do apologise. Very little we can do about that in the immediate pro. Just looking at the referee's box and see that tonight's ref is Michael BRECKON. People who were at the grand final last year against Oxford here at Poole Stadium will remember that Michael BRECKON was the referee, and he had a very busy evening adjudicating on a number of close incidents on the night. Let's hope or expect he's hoping that things are a little bit quieter for him tonight. So welcome to Michael. He comes, I think he comes from the north of England, Cumbria way, I believe. So it's a fair old trip for him tonight. Just looking down pit lane there, you can see the riders getting themselves ready. Zach there just marking his programme to show what gates and what colours he's going to be having to use as the evening goes on.
Your SCB Grant Henderson Tankers referee tonight, Michael BRECKON in the box. And a reminder that our coin toss
And
on the starting gate.
Neil MIDDLEDITCH there pacing the pit lane as he so often does. Bindo's off on holiday tomorrow. He's going to the south of France to meet up with Matt Ford. So he needn't go all that way for hot and steamy weather. It's going to be like that here in the UK for quite a few days to come. Hope that you enjoy that sort of weather, and if you do, make the most of it. If you don't, then take cover, because it could get really warm over the course of the weekend. So enough of the gabbling, because we've got riders coming out on track. The 2-minute time allowance has been activated, and we're heading towards heat number 1 in this Cap Direct Championship meeting between the Pirates and the Bandits. Bandits with a 2-point advantage as they go into the meeting. What can the Pirates do to claw that back in the early heats? We'll soon see, because riders are coming to the gates. Just looking at heat 1 statistics so far, even Steven really maybe going slightly in the favour of the visitors with a couple of 4-2s there. But yep, even Steven really can't take too much information from that.
No, you sure can't. Unusual for Pirates to win the toss this season. It's and take the gates for 1 and 3. So is that a way that Zach Cook sees the meeting going? Take it while you've got the choice.
I think he's thinking back to last week when they had 1 and 3 as well, and got off to an absolute ripper with 2-5-1s the first 2 races. They'd ideally like to do that all over again, I'm sure.
Yeah, so here's your lineup for heat 1 on gate 1. In blue for the Pirates, it's Tobias Thompson. Gate 2 in yellow for the Bandits, Sam Hagen. Gate 3 in red for the Pirates, Richard Lawson. And in gate 4 in white for the Bandits, it's Craig Cook. Up go the takes and away we go. It was big lift from Sam Hagen at the start, but Lawson's out front and he's being challenged now by Craig Cook, who comes diving under him into turn 3, leaving a gap. Lawson looks to be returning the favour going into turn 1 again on lap 2.
Great work from Cook to get his nose in front, but here comes Lawson on the inside line. Has Cook got enough to hold Lawson off? He's swung very wide there. Can Lawson turn it up the inside in there? Neck and neck, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, going down through turns 1 and 2. Lawson again so close to the inside of Cook. He's pushing Cook right hard into the corner, but Cookie drops it down on Lawson. It's a great race, 1 lap to go.
Lawson now taking a wide line, looking to find a bit of dirt around the outside. He's found a bit of grip, goes round Craig Cook like he dropped the chain, and it's Lawson now over to the line. It's red, white, blue and yellow as they come to the line. What a race to open this evening's proceedings here at Wimborne Road. What a great battle from the 2 English lads there in heat 1.
Yeah, it takes 2 to tango, and they were certainly at the quick step that time, because the race win went to Richard Lawson, and here he is on screen now taking the plaudits of the fans. Great work from Lawson to get the Pirates off to a good start, and his partner's in for 3rd place as well. Here comes your official result of heat number 1, a win for the rider in red for the Pirates. From the back, the Rocket Man, Richard Lawson. 2nd place, great ride, but not quite there. In white for the Bandits was Craig Cook. 3rd in blue for the Pirates, Tobias Thompson, and Sam Hagen in yellow, 4th finisher for the Bandits. 4-2 heat advantage to the Pirates, 60.88 the race winning time. Aggregate scores tied at 48 to each side.
It was a pretty even break from the two on the outside, and you can see it. Tobias Thompson half a bike length missed. Richard stayed tight on the inside, then kind of drift across a shiny bit, left a hole up the inside. Cook had come from 4 and dived up the inside, and then the race was on. It was all about, could Richard Lawson find a way past? He looked quicker most of the race. Cookie really drifted wide there, and Lawson gave him a sniff up the inside. Still couldn't get there. Cook shuts the door on him, then stays down low, drifts off the line slightly. Lawson takes a narrow line up the back straight, tries that narrow Havey Avenue on the inside, still didn't work, then goes to the outside. He knew Cook was going to stay tight, sucked him in a little bit there, and then managed to find a bit of grip up against the fence. Lovely stuff from Lawson.
Let's go on to heat number 2 now, and the lineup looks like this. In gate number 1, white helmet for the Bandits is Dayle WOOD. Gate number 2 in red for the Pirates, Poole Starke. Gate number 3 in yellow for the Bandits is Jack Smith. And gate number 4 for the Pirates is going to be Darryl RITCHINGS. And you'll have to bear with us here on commentary because our commentary screen has just blacked out. Hopefully you've still got pictures at home, but at the moment in the commentary position we are a little bit devoid of pictures. So I'm told we're okay for you folks viewing at home. Here in our commentary box we're a little bit difficult at the moment, so let's see if we can call it from natural eyesight. Takes her up, away they go to the first corner, and it's a good start for the two Berwick boys, but now we've got Jack Smith down and Darryl RITCHINGS down as well, so real harum-scarum stuff on the first bend there. Not a particularly even start between any of the boys, but it's Darryl RITCHINGS who looks like he may have come off the worst because his bike went into the fence and bounced back, and it bounced back onto him. So hopefully that's just a few minutes winding that he suffered there. They're moving the airbag out of the way to extract Darryl RITCHINGS. The other riders are going back to pits, and we'll wait to see what the referee's call is on that particular heat. But that's the starts that we wanted. We'll hope that everybody is A-OK. So you can see there that I think that's Andy Smith's bike that's being taken back to the pits. Did I say Andy Smith? Jack Smith's bike. Andy Smith, of course, Dad. And a group of concerned medics and track staff over by the air fence where Darryl RITCHINGS went in quite hard.
Yeah, as you can see there, as we can see from our pictures, the helmet from the safety point of view being checked. It looks to me like no exclusion lights on, so it's all 4 riders back.
So welcome to our friends from Berwick there over on the second corner. So not the start we wanted this evening. 2 proceedings with just 1 and a bit races done, and some concern over there for Darryl RITCHINGS, who is still with the medics. halfway round bends 1 and 2. Tobias Thompson there walking out to see what's occurring over there. And as you can see, there's a conglomeration of people in that area just trying to find out what's happening.
He's got somebody with him, and he's going to have a chat, I think.
Yes, of course, Nigel, I am in front of the main grandstand. Everyone give us a wave. How about cheer? There we go. Nice to hear.
Yeah, so
Right-hander at the front of the
I hope you'll just appreciate that we won't be showing replays of incidents until such time as we know that the riders involved are okay. So we do hope that we will be able to reprise it for you, but in the interests of good order, we'll just refrain from that until such time as things have sorted themselves out.
He's just gone down the stairs, we missed him.
Lee, let me just break in to say that looks like Darryl's on his feet, so applause coming from over there.
And there we go. Darryl RITCHINGS up on his feet. Looks to be wincing a bit, mind you.
Made of stern stuff, Speedway riders.
I'll hand back to you, Lee. Nice one. Great to see Darryl back up on his feet. And let's get
Yeah, I think the bike just bounced back off of the air fence and hit Darryl as he was following it in. So maybe that's the reason for the unfortunate sort of look that he carries at the moment.
Spoke to him earlier. It's going to be a big night for Zach. And who do you think is going to win tonight? Pirates and the Bandits? It's going to be a difficult one. Pirates for sure. What do you think the score's going to be? How many of the Pirates going to score? Ain't got a clue. At least she's honest. We like that.
So there we are, riders
What about let's tie it up with your
at the pit gate there.
58-32. What do we think? There we go. People are confident. People are confident. Back over to you, Nigel.
And I would say there's probably some concern there for Darryl RITCHINGS. Let's have a look at it on replay. Elbow to elbow, Jack Smith and Darryl RITCHINGS. The bike goes into the airbag and Darryl follows it in. So that's probably what happened. He got a bit of a buffeting off of the machinery.
For me, Smith looked like he was in trouble there and on his way down already. There was a buffeting. Looked like Richards had got half a wheel in front. They touched on the way in, and then it looks like Smith kind of had lost control, so Richards got off the bike for me. But old-fashioned first corner bunching, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely that. Old-fashioned first corner bunching, all four back.
And I call it that because we are old-fashioned here.
Well, sometimes we are.
Well, yeah, sometimes we do, you know, cut the cloth with the new guys, but first bend bunching, not heard that for a while.
I don't think it's ever written in the rule book, though, is it, that there's a rule about first bend bunching?
No, but everybody within Speedway seems to know about it. That's the thing about first bend bunching.
There's probably a lot of things that we all know about in Speedway that aren't in the rule book when you think about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Taking the time to get back there and limp back to the paddock. Of course, the bike went over on its side, so there's a bit of clutch cleaning and everything to be done there.
Yeah, bit of straightening, I should think, as well. Just look round onto the Berwick side there. The guys just Berwick guys just together. Craig Cook and Sam Hagen 1 and 2. They're in discussion. Clerk of the course has dispatched Jack Smith back to no doubt get togged up, ready to go again in the next heat in just a minute or two's time. So helmet on from Dayle Wood there. Dayle Wood, the man who's trying to rival Paco Castagna for the best moustache in Speedway.
Yeah, he probably is, and I see Louis Kerr's got one on the way as well, so we may have a tash off maybe between the two. I think it's a little bit too early for Leahy at the minute. It doesn't seem to be quite as good as Dayle Wood.
Well, Louis normally shaven-headed, isn't he? So I would imagine he'll be shaven-chinned as well.
2 minutes is all for the next.
Here we are then, we're a view of the crowd, and the 2-minute time allowance reactivated for a rerun of heat number 2. All 4 riders coming back to tapes, so let's hope that we get a nice clear run this time round.
Won't be taking his place in heat number 2 at this stage. That doesn't indicate that we won't be seeing him later. But unfortunately, there is.
So I don't know if you can hear the stadium announcer there, but Darryl RITCHINGS will be a non-starter in heat number 2. It'll be 3 riders only. At this stage, Darryl is just sitting this ride out. And wonder if that may result in him appearing later on, or whether he will have to actually step down from the meeting.
So here's your lineup, sponsored by Compact Lifting Services. In gate 1 in white, Dayle Wood for the Bandits. The Sold Pirate in red. In gate 2 is Poole Starke. Gate 3 is Jack Smith in yellow for the Bandits. And obviously nobody out on gate 4. So it's a 3-rider heat here, the reserve heat, heat 2. There's our Pirates crowd basking in the sunshine here at Wimborne Road. It's been a scorcher today. Up for the takes and away we go. Poole Starke has made it on the inside, the rider in red for the Pirates. Being followed there by Jack Smith and Dayle Wood. But it's Poole Starke out front for the Pirates as we come over there, and he completes a lap.
Starke doing what he had to do there for the Pirates. I don't think he got the best of starts really. Dayle Wood inside him looked to be going quite well into the first corner, but Starke leaned it over and made himself big and got himself well in front. So with a couple of laps gone now, the race is really strung out. The Berwick boys probably now just happy to settle in for second and third places. Starke doing what he had to do out the front, and just a lap to go.
Yes, it's been slightly processional this one, to say the least. But the Pirates fans won't mind that. The fact that it's Poole Starke out front, the rider in red. It looks like a tapes to flag win for him. Poole Starke wins it in red for the Pirates. Second is Jack Smith in yellow for the Bandits, and third Dayle Wood in white. The Bandits as they come over the line. Yeah, good win there for Poole Starke. Dad Tony there comes and grabs the bike off his boy. Says, nice one, Mush. A nice one it was indeed.
So heat number 2 is a shared race.
Right, we'll be bringing you the official results, which looks like this. A win for the rider in red for the Pirates was Poole Starke. Second place in yellow for the Bandits, Jack Smith. And third in white, also with the Bandits, was Dayle Wood. 3-3 the heat result. Time 63.28, not particularly quick that time around, 63.28. And on the night, Pirates lead the Bandits 7-5, an aggregate 51-51.
Technology offering complete warehouse management.
Heat 3 with
So here come the Bandits for heat 3. That Cook captain the Pirates, he's round here already.
First to appear at starting gate is the rider in blue for the Pirates. Pirates captain and number 4, Zach Cook. For the Bandits in white on gate number 2 is their captain, Danyon HUME. And in yellow on gate 4, Kemp.
So here we go then, our lineup for heat 3. Sponsored by BIAS Technologies. On the inside in blue, Poole Pirates captain Zach Cook. In gate 2 in white, Danyon HUME for the Bandits. Gate 3 in red is Anders Rowe for the Pirates. And in gate 4 in yellow is Drew Kemp for the Bandits.
So we'll see in this heat how fit Anders Rowe is. He's declared himself to be okay after the groin strain that he suffered a week ago. So the test comes now, the acid test comes here in heat number 3, and he won't be having it all his own way, because with Drew Kemp out in the heat, who's in good form himself, and with fast starting Danyon HUME just inside him, it's going to need Anders to have his wits about him as they shoot off to the first bend. 2-minute clock counting down now, and the riders just about getting themselves ready and in position, ready to go in heat number 3.
A long hold of the tape spare, but it was a bit of push and shove there. Kemp goes down on the first turn, so the red lights will be on. He hasn't managed to get himself up. He has stayed down. There was a bit of argy-bargy on the way in.
There was, and it was Danyon HUME with the best of the starts there. He was out of gate 2 really quickly. But what happened there? Well, Drew Kemp runs wide into the corner and just spins it around on his own.
Yeah, the argy-bargy was a bit earlier than that, wasn't it? Wasn't due to the contact.
Drew Kemp looking a little bit second hand as he walks back to the pits, sort of limping a little bit there, so let's hope that Drew's okay to carry on.
I remember him doing that in a Heat 1 when he was a pirate, you know.
I think you're right.
And his first ride, sorry.
I think you're right. Not the best of starts, is it, to your night when you end up kissing the shale?
Drew's dad there with him.
Yeah, those pirate boys will need to be looking at those setups a little bit closely, because they were outgunned in that first running there to the first corner, and they'll need to get their medal together for the restart.
It would be interesting. Doesn't look like Rowe making too many changes to his machine.
Zach Cook was straight back into the pit, so he's obviously got things on his mind.
Yeah, I think Rowe probably missed the start a little bit. I think was probably put down to his poor start.
On the birthdays this evening, we've had email from Lawson. Please, can you play a request for Ray Bolton for his birthday last week? He's here tonight with his son Darren. Wishing it well from Mark for the crew branch.
You see there the clutch cooler on, trying to get some fresh air over those clutch plates with very high sort of temperatures we got. Then the boys need to get that down as fast as they can. Get are done. I don't quite know what that means. If anybody does know what it means, perhaps you could message in. We'd be interested to know. There's no doubt some code or other. Is it West Country for get it done? I'm being mentioned in my ear. I don't know. So we're hearing there that the referee deems that Drew Kemp was the cause of the stoppage of heat number 3, and he unfortunately will be missing as we rerun that third race of the evening. He's excluded. So 1 Bandit, 2 Pirates, reversal of heat number 2. Let's see what happens when they get going. 2 minutes warning is on, and here's Zach Cook on his way to tapes. Passes his teammate Anders Rowe as he comes out of the pit gate.
Yeah, our angle of the exclusion lights here has got the sun right on them, and at the moment they're all like they're excluded, aren't they? It's our angle here from our commentary box. Until the sun goes down, we won't have a clear and distinct view. Hopefully we have no more falls and we get some 4-rider racing.
So an exchange of fist pumps there between Anders and his dad. Anders heads round to take up his position on gate number 3, and we'll give you the full lineup in the restaging.
So here we go then, Heat 3, sponsored by BIAS Technologies. In Gate 1 in blue, the Pirates captain, Zach Cook. In Gate 2 in white, the Bandits captain, Danyon HUME. And in Gate 3 in red is Anders Rowe for the Pirates. And no rider on Gate 4, that was Anders Rowe, was Drew Kemp. And he was excluded as the cause of the stoppage of the original running of Heat 3.
So we got riders ready for action. Starting marshal's happy. Green lights on.
And away we go. And it looks another good start from Danyon HUME. He goes wide to try and pick up the drive. Leaves a gap on the inside. Rowe tries to take it, but Danyon HUME is riding very wide indeed to start off. And he's all over the back of Zach Cook.
Yeah, Danyon there, just a little overlock on the first bend, and it's allowed Cook just a couple of bites, lengths to get away. Anders Rowe tucked tight on the inside line, but not in contention for the second position. That's really with Danyon at the moment. Zach Cook out the front, Danyon HUME in second place. Rowe starting to make an impact now from third position, but with a lap to go, well, doesn't look like the race order is going to change very much.
Yeah, Zach went really, really wide there on turn 4 and almost opened the door for Danyon HUME to come flying through. He doesn't make that mistake this time round on 8-4. It's blue, white and red as they come over the line. And the Pirates captain gets one over on the Bandits captain.
Zach Cook turns straight round and goes back to pits. No parade lap for him this time round. Let's give you the official result of heat number 3. A 3-rider race, of course. The win in blue for Zach Cook for the Pirates. Second place from white for Danyon HUME for the Bandits. And the third place to Anders Rowe in red for the Pirates. Drew Kemp there excluded. It's the cause of the stoppage first time round. Heat result 4-2 in favour of the Pirates. Winning time 61.34. On the night, 11 to the Pirates, 7 to the Bandits. Pirates on 55, Bandits 53. And I think we'll be able to go to replay in a moment, after we've looked at the Heat 4 stats, which will be coming up very shortly now. And as you can see there, the visitors have taken a 4-2 in this one on occasions. Nothing big from the Pirates. So a little bit even Steven again. Let's have a look at what's happening at the gate there, because we've been told Darryl RITCHINGS is going to have to withdraw from the meeting because of that fall. And so Darryl RITCHINGS steps out, and Poole Starke comes in to heat number 4 to ride in blue.
As the riders come to the line then on gate number 3, wearing the red helmet colour. Make some noise for Leahy. Taking the place of Darryl.
So as we adjust our programmes, here's your official lineup for Heat 4.
In white.
Sponsored by Top Class Consultancy. In gate 1 in blue, it's the reserve change for Poole Starke and the Pirates. In gate 2 in yellow is Jack Smith for the Bandits. Gate 3 in red is Louis Kerr for the Pirates. And in gate 4 in white is Leon Flint for the Bandits. He's their guest this evening in place of Peter Kilderman, who is on Danish duty, but I've been told he's injured, so you take your pick.
Three wise men sitting on the tower there. Poole Starke, who's in for a busy night, takes gate number 1 in place of the injured and withdrawn Darryl RITCHINGS.
Yeah, Tony Starke will earn his money tonight. It looks an absolute flyer with Louis Kerr in red. Flint has come round the outside of Poole Starke, so Starke's running in third. But Louis Kerr absolutely flying out front in red.
Yeah, he's found the way around this track over the last few weeks, and he's putting some space between himself and Leon Flint. Flint, who managed to battle his way past Poole Starke on the first two bends. But Jack Smith for the Bandits, I'm afraid he's tailed at the moment at the back of the pack. So, in shot, Louis Kerr there looks stylish, doesn't he, going down the back straight. That's Leon Flint. He's chasing up Kerr at the front. We've got a faller in the shape of Poole Starke, and that's gifted a point to Jack Smith as they go round bends 1 and 2. Starke clears the track, but Kerr carries on regardless. We'll be able to call them home in this one. Heat 4 is a win for red, followed by white and then yellow. Red, white, yellow.
It's tricky out there. Heat number 4 though, a victory for the rider in red, Louis Kerr.
Yeah, as you heard our announcer say, the track looks a little tricky tonight. But here's your Heat 4 result. It's a win for Louis Kerr. He had no such trouble in red out front for the Pirates. In gate second was Leon Flint in white for the Bandits. Third was Jack Smith in yellow, kind of gifted a point, and Poole Starke failed to finish. 3-all heat score was the result of Heat 4, taking the match score after 4 heats, 14 to the Pirates, 10 to the Bandits. And the race time there, 61.79.
So here we go on replay, and away to the first bend. It was a good start there from the Pirates, but Leon Flint there just kept the motor on, ran around the outside of Poole Starke, but he couldn't influence Louis Kerr, who'd made the best of the drops. And at this stage it looked pretty comfortable for the Pirates to be taking another heat advantage. But we'll get to the later stages of the race, and Poole Starke, well, what did he do? Lose concentration, or did he lose power in the machine? And he came tumbling down. Just another lap to go, I think, to see that. But at the moment, Kerr out front, there he is on shot, and finding a quick way round Wimborne Road this evening. Leon Flint there in second, and just behind it's Poole Starke oversliding, and down he comes. So advantage lost to the Pirates there. Berwick will be very happy about that, I'm sure. And as you can see, Poole Starke there walking back in, and wow, doesn't he look full of perspiration?
Yeah, very much so, and not a night, on a warm night, you want to be walking back fully Kevlar'd up, let alone pushing your bike back as well, but he didn't have to do that. Richard Lawson there having a little chat with Stewart DICKSON, the Bandits manager.
Yeah, the conversation there is Stewart to Richard, I need a guest rider. Richard to Stewart, any time mate. Stewart to Richard, how much is it worth? Richard to Stewart, usual. That's Tobias THOMSEN there, just adjusting his Kevlar's there. Probably got a knee brace underneath there as well to protect that part of the anatomy. Smile on the face of Louis Kerr, that means things must be going well in his camp. Zach Cook with the Kevlar's undone there, and now re-zipped. No doubt very warm, just like we saw a Poole Starke walking in there.
Yeah, I think early season, I think Louis was a little bit hard done by at times by the Poole fans. He needed time to settle, he needed time to find the track, and each time you come, the track is slightly different. Until you've been a home rider, I think, for a good 5 or 6 meetings, it's very difficult to get yourself dialed in and know exactly what the track's going to do to you as a home rider.
Yeah, and the track boys won't be trying to make it different every week. It's really circumstances and the weather changing week to week, and the amount of moisture in the air or not in the air makes it very difficult to prepare the ideal racetrack week on week on week. But that said, the guys have got to get out there, they've got to put it to the back of their minds, and they've got to handle the conditions that they see in front of them. And good riders will do that, and they won't be put off by the varying conditions.
Just be patient for a few minutes whilst we let things settle. All right, thankfully, whilst we've got an extended break here just for a few minutes, we have Lee. He's on the prowl once again. Lee, where are you? I am over here by
So an extended break, we're told, for some track maintenance. So we'll leave you in peace just for a few minutes. You haven't lost sound, it's just that we're staying a little bit quiet whilst there is nothing significant to be able to talk to you about.
There's Darryl RITCHINGS in shot there. Does look in discomfort, doesn't he?
He does. If this were to be his last meeting for the Pirates, it would be a very disappointing way to bow out, because he's come in and he's put some pep into the bottom end of the lineup and made himself very popular here at Wimborne Road, because he's tough rider and hasn't given any quarter to better riders who they thought would have been beating him. So it'd be a great shame if that is his final offering for the Pirates.
Yeah, he's been excellent and came in, didn't he? And everybody was going, who's this guy? And, you know, he'd had an 8-year break, I believe, as well, out of the sport and coming back. And, yeah, you know, how that happens and why that happens, I don't know. But all I can say is I think any club that has a rider like Darryl RITCHINGS in their side who goes out and gives it a go, you know, whether it's successful or not is another matter. But fans just want to pay their money and see people give it a go, and that's Darryl RITCHINGS all over. And like you say, it would be very sad if he ends his time with us off the back of that sort of innocuous fall there, really.
But there'll be no lack of suitors lining up to offer him a chance to carry on in the championship, I'm sure. He has surprised a lot of people, and he's shown a lot of guts and determination, and a club who have got the opportunity to make a change would certainly be looking to see if Darryl RITCHINGS could fit into a change, or possibly two changes in their respective lineups.
Yeah, indeed. And it does seem to be the way at the moment in Speedway. Here's our gate stats in the bottom corner there. Wins and points from each one.
Gate 4 looking a little bit ropey at the moment, only 4 points but no wins there.
Yeah, usually good early doors as well, isn't it here?
Yeah, but
Thanks for bearing with us, everyone. 2 minutes on
it's so
the clock.
variable, isn't it? You know, you need a whole season's statistics really to get a true picture of how things pan out, and it does change meeting to meeting. 2 minute time allowance activated now. We're back racing for heat number 5. Pirates will be tracking Anders Rowe and Zach Cook. Bandits with Craig Cook and Sam Hagon.
Bandits number 1, Craig Cook. Gate number 1, moving into position in yellow for the Bandits. With number 2, Sam Hagon.
Zach Cook, winner first time out. Hope that's a confidence booster for him.
The red helmet colour for the Pirates.
Anders Rowe,
Number 3.
is he feeling that injury? Well, hard to tell from the first race. He looked a little bit tentative, but who knows?
So here we go then, heat 5 sponsored by Dressowens. Gate 1, Sam Hagon in yellow for the Bandits. Gate 2, Anders Rowe in red for the Pirates. Gate 3 in white, Craig Cook for the Bandits. And in Gate 4 in blue for the Pirates, Zach Cook, the Pirates captain.
Looking down at the riders there at the starting gate, Zach Cook closest to us, nearest the fence there, just getting himself psyched up. All the riders look like they're at the line, so we're ready to go.
Tapes are up, and away we go. Craig Cook was there, but Zach Cook got over the top of him. Anders Rowe had made it round. Craig Cook as well, so it's Pirates out front. Zach Cook looking to have a little more speed this time round.
Looking sweet for the Pirates as they head off into the second lap there. Craig Cook very close to the inside line as they hit the inside of the corner there, but he's okay. And at the moment, Zach Cook and Anders Rowe doing just what's needed for the Pirates. Craig Cook again taking the short course across the inside of bend 1, but it's not doing him any favours. Unfortunately, Sam Hagon for the Bandits, well, he's tailed again at the back of the field. So Cook leads Rowe, leads Cook with a lap to go.
Yeah, it's the Pirates captain in blue out front, followed by his teammate Anders Rowe in red. We're looking for a first heat maximum here from the Pirates in heat 5 as they come over the line. Blue, red, white and yellow.
Pirates broadside with a maximum heat win in heat 5. Zach Cook and Anders Rowe.
There is your heat winner in blue, Zach Cook, coming round to take the plaudits from the grandstand.
Here comes your result of heat number 5, and it was a win that time for Zach Cook, Pirates captain in the blue helmet colour. Second place, backing him up in red, his teammate was Anders Rowe, and third in white for the Bandits was Craig Cook. Sam Hagon, your fourth finisher, but no score. 5-1 in favour of the Pirates, timed at 61.26, and the progressive scores on the night. Pirates go to 19 against the Bandits 11 and 63 against 57 on the aggregate basis.
You can see from the start here, Craig Cook gets a good one and kind of again gets squeezed by Zach Cook outside him. Anders Rowe was already there. And the Pirates took off into the sunset. Craig Cook kept them honest and was fast enough to keep them honest.
Up to take first one on gate number 1.
So in heat number 6, the stats for 2025, 5 matches here in the championship, and it looks a positive one from a pool point of view, with heat advantages along the line, shared heat as well, but nothing at all for the visitors. So Pirates will no doubt be hoping that continues in the 6th race here this evening.
Yep, so here we go then, your line up for heat 6, sponsored by Pirate Cast. In gate 1 in red is the Rocket Man Richard Lawson for the Pirates. In gate 2 in white is the guest Leon Flint for the Bandits. Gate 3 in blue is the Donut Man Tobias Thompson, and in gate 4 in yellow is Dayle Wood for the Bandits. He's the Tash Man, I suppose we could call him.
Riders just preparing themselves there to go racing. Leon Flint, astute choice of guest for the Bandits tonight, riding of course for the Glasgow Tigers, who are here in a couple of weeks' time, so getting a look at the track, and in good form in the Premiership as well as the Rising Star at Sheffield. So there we go, riders at the line, ready to go racing.
Tapes go up and away we go. And it looks a good one from Leon Flint, but Tobias Thompson goes around the outside of him and Richard Lawson comes underneath him. It's the Pirates duo running 1 and 2, but not necessarily all you expect.
No, tidy work from the Pirates on the first corner. They caught Leon napping, I'm afraid, there with 1 in and 1 out, and they've set off for home already, and it leaves Leon with a mountain to climb here. So as they go over the start-finish line for a second time, Tobias Thompson out front, Richard Lawson riding shotgun tucked right in behind him. Leon Flint now being trailed, and Dayle Wood even further behind. So 1 to go with the Pirates in command.
Yeah, the Pirates have got a sturdy lead here. Lawson looked over his shoulder going into turn 1. Didn't see that on camera, but he shepherded his partner home here. As they come to the line, it's blue, red, white and yellow.
Back-to-back maximums in Heat 5 and 6 that time. Tobias Thompson and Richard Lawson.
Now, what are we going to get from Tobias for a race win this time round? Richard Lawson has declined the lap of honour. One man who won't decline a lap of honour at any time is the Donut King, Tobias Thompson. Oh dear. More practice needed, more race wins required. He's nothing if not an entertainer.
Looked like he dug a foot peg in there, like a ploughing match. But there we go, in Heat 6. The result is a win for Tobias Thompson in blue for the Pirates. He's followed home by his partner in second place, Richard Lawson in red. In third, in white for the Bandits was Leon Flint. He picked up the solitary point, and at the back was Dayle Wood in yellow for the Bandits. It was a 5-1 heat advantage in favour of the Pirates. At the time of the race, 62.25. And after 6 heats here and 2 back-to-back 5-1s, the Pirates now lead 24-12 on the night.
Yeah, Pirates stretching their legs. There's a picture of the referee's box with Michael BRECKON. Everything under control. And the SCB recorder, Trevor Hunter, alongside him. Good to see that Drew Kemp there in the yellow helmet is none the worse for his previous spill. He's out on track along with Danyon HUME for the Bandits, and Louis Kerr and Poole Starke are the Pirates on parade in this one, heat number 7.
In the blue helmet colour, arriving on track, he was unlucky last time for the winner in heat number 2. The rider on gate 4, Poole Starke.
So here we are then, Heat 7, sponsored by Wessex Marine. In gate 1 in white is Danyon HUME, the captain of the Bandits. In gate 2 in red is Louis Kerr for the Pirates. In gate 3, yet to finish a race, is Drew Kemp in yellow for the Bandits. In gate 4, he's going to be the busiest man in Speedway this evening. In blue is Poole Starke.
That's Danyon HUME in shot there. Interesting to see those tinted goggles that a lot of the riders use. Needed going into the first corner here. They probably changed to a clear pair a little bit later on in the evening. So riders just taking their time to settle here. They've got 30 seconds until the time runs out, but no doubt we'll get them up to the line just as quickly as possible. You see the clock counting down bit by bit by bit. And we've got the riders now in position.
Away we go. And it's a good one from Louis Kerr again. The Bandits do take chase. And it's Poole Starke at the back. And now he has some mechanical woes. No, he's back running. Nobody knows anything about it. And it's Louis Kerr out front.
Yeah, it could be a race at the back here because Kemp was slowing as well, but he's got going now and Starke slowed again. But no denying the man out front in red there. That was Louis. He was away with the mix, and we've lost Danyon HUME there, and he's down on the circuit, and I don't think he's going to be getting up. So Poole Starke coasts by, most fortuitous. I'm sure we'll be taking a rerun there, but unless the referee chooses to award it, of course. But all sorts of things happening there, and it's Danyon HUME who was down, but pleased to say he's up on his feet.
Yeah, he's down but not out. He's back up on his feet. Poole Starke was rather fortunate to still be under power there, and presence of mind to continue to travel. And
cameraman Paul has got the chain guard in his hand, And as well as an excellent cameraman, he's now going to do some mechanics for them, I think. And there's Danyon just heading down the back straight. Good to see he's no worse for wear. And back into pits he goes.
There you saw our start marshal heading out, and here's Danyon HUME. He hits a big grippy spot, and it just straightens him up, and then re-slides and chucks him on off the wrong side. An innocuous fall there. The race will be rerun, we are told.
Chance for the Poole crew to get to work on Paul Starke's bike. Maybe there's somebody going to come to his aid with another one if that one's playing up.
Yeah, he'd probably take one off the spare. So Cook there playing with the clutch. Looks like maybe he's put a new clutch in. All the clutch screws are out. Maybe he's had a mid-meeting change of clutch there, looking like it to me.
So not much time allowed there between the two heats, because the 2 minutes is on again for the three remaining riders to come out for the rerun. Just while we got a second or so, can I say hello to Emma Sutton, who is now Emma King, recently married, now on honeymoon. Congratulations, Emma. Hope you have a fantastic honeymoon, and we'll love to see you back at Poole Stadium on your return to keep cheering the Pirates on. I know Mum and Dad are here tonight. They're in the usual place, so they'll be relaying all the information to you, I'm sure, that you don't see on screen. So congratulations, Emma. Thanks for supporting the Pirates.
You know Emma, she'll be watching Pirates TV, surely.
Hope so. Well, she's on her honeymoon. She might have other things to do.
Yeah, Pirates TV. Right, here we go. Rerun Heat 7. It's sponsored by Wessex Marine. No rider on gate 1. He's the cause of the stoppage, Danyon HUME. Gate 2 in red, Louis Kerr for the Pirates. He made a flyer in the original starting of this heat. Gate 3 in yellow, Drew Kemp for the Bandits. And in gate 4, Paul Starke for the Pirates. Another 3-rider heat. Unusual, we don't get many of them, and then we have 3 at once in one meeting. There's the boss man, putting in a few laps with the leg work. And away we go. And I have to say, Drew Kemp's made an absolute flyer there and taken advantage. Oh, straightened up in the middle of the turn. Louis Kerr comes underneath him, halts his run, leaves a spot for Paul Starke. Paul Starke stays low, down low. Can he get back up the inside of Kemp? Yes, he does. Leaves him racing room, though.
So it looks as if Drew Kemp is struggling with the bike at the back at the moment. No, he's been passed by both those Pirates, but is there a mechanical contribution in that? Who knows? Drew Kemp is now down at the back of the field. Pirates plough on their merry way. Kemp's back up and moving, but at the front of the field, Kerr is strolling along. Paul Starke won't pick up 2 easier points this season, and Drew Kemp has unfortunately still got a lap and a bit to go.
Louis Kerr still going flat out, like his life depends on it, as he comes around with a checker flag. It's red, blue, and a 5-1 to the Pirates once more, and Drew Kemp trickling in at the back in yellow. Just about to finish, and there he comes.
Drew Kemp got the win, and the maximum heat win for Louis Kerr and Paul Starke.
So Louis Kerr picks up his second of the night, acknowledges the crowd on the way through, and on screen your Heat 7 result: a win for Louis Kerr in red for the Pirates, second place in blue for the Pirates, Paul Starke, and the third man home was Drew Kemp in yellow for the Bandits. Another big 5-1 to the Pirates, who've really taken this meeting in the grasp and lead the meeting 29 points to 13, 73-59 overall. and a race time at 61.94. 61.94.
Here you go. You see Kemp made a real beauty here. Got in front of the two Pirates. Got mid-track. Then he got grip and straightened up. That drifted in wide. Louis Kerr had a few problems there, and it's like he hit the brakes, but they don't have no brakes. That left a gap up the inside for Poole Starke. Poole Starke left racing room, fair play. And then Drew Kemp got out there in the deep stuff and couldn't get it to turn the corner. And it was kind of over from there, really, as far as the race was concerned. There he did. You could just see in the background, slipped off but jumped back on again. Did Kemp to pick up the solitary point for the Bandits. 3 5-1s in a row for the Pirates here has turned the meeting on its head.
Yeah, it has, and I think, am I allowed to feel a bit sorry for the Bandits? They don't seem to have too much luck going their way this evening.
Well, if they didn't have any bad luck, they'd be having no luck at all.
Yeah, I never understood that expression, to be perfectly honest, but I'll sympathise with the Bandits here, and I think they're trying very hard, but it's just not coming off for them this evening. And of course, Poole, when they sniff blood, well, they really go for the jugular. And that's what's happened over the last 3 races there, with 3 maximum heat advantages. Having a look there in the pits with Stewart DICKSON talking to Anders Rowe and Sam Hagon, and looking at heat number 8, which is next on the programme. It should see Darryl RITCHINGS coming out again. I wonder if this is the heat where the Pirates will choose to just go with one rider only. Maybe not. Maybe they'll put Poole Starke out again this time round. But Starke's had quite a busy evening so far, and there was an opportunity maybe to give him a breather. But we think it's going to be Starke again, but we'll confirm it in a few minutes' time when the official lineup comes across the screen. Of course, the Bandits now well into tactical territory, and it'll be interesting to see at what stage of the evening they choose to deploy that.
Some very important people who are here this evening, and I'll let them
It must be a difficult one for Stewart, because he's finding a rider that's riding well enough to get to the front to take advantage of it. As you can see, healthy crowd in again this evening. Poole faithful always turn out.
Yeah, just looking, and you see we've got a few viewers looking at us, watching us from afar. I know we've got a couple of friends down in Australia who tune in every time Pirates TV's on air, and of course to our friend Julie in Saskatchewan. Hope you're watching, Julie. Thanks for your messages during the week, and looking forward to seeing you next time you're back at the stadium, which I believe is going to be in about a month's time. So we'll catch up at that stage.
Well done for you for getting the pronunciation right there. It's one that I still can't do, but there we go.
Yeah, should you ever talk about the Grand Prix at the weekend, Scotty? Did you know there was a Grand Prix, actually 2 at the weekend? Did you know that?
No, I was away playing throwing the arrows, so I didn't catch up with any of it until I got home. I saw the final on Saturday.
Ah, right, okay. Well, it was, as you would expect at Bellevue, some great racing. Friday may be better than Saturday, in my opinion. But, yeah, I think that track they've got nailed, and the racing on there is absolutely superb. And apart from 1 or 2 logistical problems on the Friday, I think on the whole it went off very, very well. And we do hope that it means that Bellevue will get another British Grand Prix next year.
With Poole Starke taking the place of Darryl RITCHINGS, as I mentioned earlier, Darryl able to continue having withdrawn from the meeting.
So you're hearing, as we hear, obviously, Poole Starke, the busiest man in Speedway on this Wednesday evening, now taking the rides off Darryl RITCHINGS.
And looking at the stats, Heat 8, another good one for the Pirates. No heat advantages to the visitors so far this season. And 3 3s and 4 2s seem to be the order of the day in heat number 8. So heat number 8 is the protected race with the reserve riders coming in, and this time Poole Starke has to step up again to cover for Darryl RITCHINGS.
In white for the Bandits, Sam Hagon on gate number 3.
I don't think we've said well done to Sam Hagon so far this evening, Scotty, because he retained his under-21 title earlier in the month up there at Glasgow, and quite an achievement, isn't it, to get 2 on the bounce. He was a pirate, of course, last year, and started off like a house on fire, dulled down a little bit, has gone to Berwick and has retained his under-21 title. So a good start really for him this year.
Yep, in we go, heat 8. Sponsored by our good friends Bournemouth Betting Centre. Gate 1 in yellow, Jack Smith for the Bandits. Gate 2 is Poole Starke in blue, not Darryl RITCHINGS as on screen. Poole Starke in blue for the Pirates in Gate 2. Gate 3, Sam Hagon in white for the Bandits. And in Gate 4 in red, Tobias THOMSEN for the Pirates. And not forgetting, he won last time out. Up we go, and it looks like the Bandits have made a good start here, and they certainly have. Sam Hagon out front, Tobias THOMSEN having a good look at him, Poole Starke and Jack Smith having a little go at the back. There's 2 races in one after lap 1.
So Sam Hagon's doing the stuff this time around in front of Tobias THOMSEN. We know that Sam is good when he's out in front and he's got fresh air in his nostrils, and he's certainly putting a stride on THOMSEN this time round. Poole Starke sneaks through into 3rd place ahead of Jack Smith, and this one looks like it's going to round out as an even heat. So Sam Hagon doing his best for the Bandits up front there. Tobias THOMSEN there chasing hard, but not really making any inroads into Sam with a lap to go.
Yeah, Sam Hagon's still doing it out front. Tobias THOMSEN's getting closer, having a good go around the last turn, but Sam Hagon's going to hold on. It's white, red, blue and yellow as they come over the line.
Putting his cool knowledge to good use in heat number 8. A race victory for Bandit Sam Hagon.
And there's Sam on his way round to get a deserved round of applause. Still can't do a wheelie, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? He had a go last year at Poole on several occasions, but he couldn't get it up, if you know what I mean. This year, well, same again. Here's the heat result before I get taken off the air.
Heat result for 8. It's a win for Sam Hagon in white for the Bandits. In 2nd is Tobias THOMSEN in red for the Pirates. 3rd is Poole Starke in blue for the Pirates, and at the back Jack Smith. It's a 3-all heat score as a result of heat 8, and after 8 heats the match score so far 32 to the Pirates, 16 to the Bandits, and the race time 61.68.
32 now to the Pirates, 16 to the Bandits. Winning time 61.68.
And the boys are just sneaking out a pit lane there, and Zach Cook in shot.
In memory of Ken Griffin, a devoted fan.
Zach with 2 wins under his belt so far this evening. And if stats are anything to go by, Heat 9 is a banker for the Pirates. 5 meetings and 100% record. So let's see if that one comes to fruition.
Yeah, indeed. It's a tough stat to keep up, I would say.
With Tactical in there as well. I'm not sure that this one is actually going to be repeated, but we'll see. We've got all the riders out on track. Here's your full lineup.
So here we go, Heat 9, sponsored by, or in memory of Ken Griffin, loyal supporter. Gate 1 is Leon Flint in white for the Bandits. Gate 2 in blue for the Pirates, Zach Cook the captain. Gate 3 in yellow is Craig Cook for the Bandits, and in Gate 4 Anders Rowe in red for the Pirates. Cook comes in place of Dayle Wood as a tactical substitute.
Yeah, we knew it was coming at some stage, and Heat 9 seems to be a popular place to put a tactical in if you're a visiting side these days. Bandits have done it this time round, so it's the unbeaten Zach Cook and his partner Anders Rowe to see if they can fend off those two visiting bandits.
Well, this will be the bandit pairing probably for Heat 13 as well. Bucko the tapes and away we go. Craig Cook gets there ahead of Zach Cook, no relation. Around the outside comes Anders Rowe, and at the back it's Leon Flint. So the bandits are in front with that tack reserve, tactical change, Craig Cook.
Yeah, tactical not working at the moment because Craig Cook made a great start there, and he's leading the race out by some 10 bike lengths from Anders Rowe and Zach Cook for the Pirates. Leon Flint at the back, working hard but not making any inroads into the Pirate pair, who look pretty comfortable to sit in second and third places. Over the line, one to go, Craig Cook's leading it out for the Bandits.
Yeah, Craig Cook looking very, very fast indeed out front in yellow for the Bandits. He is streets ahead of the Pirates duo. It's a win for Craig Cook in yellow, followed by red and blue. Leon Flint failing to finish. A very impressive race win there from Craig Cook. Came in as a tactical substitute. Unfortunately, didn't gain any points with his partner failing to finish.
Here's your race result. It's a good win indeed for Craig Cook for the Bandits, and 3 points for the him. Second in red for the Pirates was Anders Rowe. Third in blue for the Pirates was Zach Cook. And fourth place non-finisher was Leon Flint for the Bandits. 3-3 in the heat, 35.19. The Pirates lead it. 60.98 race winning time. 35.19. Here we go from the gate. Tapes are going up, and away they go. And Craig Cook out of gate number 3 does enough to get himself over to the inside and cuts the run off of Zach Cook. Anders Rowe with not a lot coming around the outside, and at that point it was see you later. Craig Cook fast and furious out front and doing a great job.
Yeah, 60.98 was his time there, and that's only been bettered by Richard Lawson in Heat 1 this evening, so shows the pace that Craig Cook has now found. Looks like he's found a little setup there to make Heat 13 and maybe Heat 15 very interested indeed.
Yep, let's hope so, because we want close competitive racing. As much as Pirates fans here want a home win, we also like close action on the track between all the riders. So here we go with heat number 10, and it's a couple of bandits who've tasted the shale already this evening coming out to do duty. Drew Kemp and Danyon HUME. They'll face up to Richard Lawson and Tobias THOMSEN. And your rider lineup looks like this.
So Heat 10 sponsored by BRECKON Digital. Gate 1 in yellow for the Bandits is Drew Kemp. Gate 2 in blue for the Pirates is Tobias THOMSEN. Gate 3 in white is Danyon HUME. He fell last time out for the Bandits. And gate 4 in red, Richard Lawson.
Lawson carrying the unbeaten tag still into race 10 this evening, and from the outside gate there he's going to have a lot of work to do to get over those two bandits inside of him, but we've seen already today that he's up for it. Heat number 1, of course, a prime example of that. See what happens now as we go racing in race 10.
Yeah, interesting to see Lawson starting right up against gate 3 as well there. Oh, I think Tobias THOMSEN there got caught by the tapes round the neck, I believe.
Now that was very unfortunate. No doubt that I don't know whether maybe the clutch gave way to it and shot him through the tapes, or whether he was trying to anticipate the tapes. Whatever happens, the blue exclusion light is showing, so we'll be rerunning the race without Tobias in it. But our concerns, obviously, are for him at the moment. And he's back up, so that's good news. And the only thing damaged there is pride, I think.
I think we can actually smell clutch burning from here.
Yeah, we can. Just see the restart there. The rider on gate 1 moved slightly, and I think Tobias went as well, but not enough to warrant a disqualification for the rider on gate 1. Just a little nudge maybe, but it was enough to send Tobias thinking the race was underway, and through he went. So that's very unfortunate for the Donut King. It's not a score for him again tonight.
I think it looks like MIDDLEDITCH is off to phone up the ref. Tobias feels that he did move on the inside of him first.
Starke, of course, has a full calendar with Darryl RITCHINGS already missing.
So maybe the discussion is about whether Tobias Thompson should take a 15-metre handicap. Obviously, with Paul Starke taking a lot of rides this evening, and Darryl RITCHINGS ruled out of the meeting, the 15-metre handicap is an option for the Pirates. Whether they would take it or not, I don't know. It would, of course, mean that Richard Lawson moved to gate number 2. Now, that may be an advantage to the Pirates that they could think about taking.
Well, Paul Starke has already taken 4 rides this evening, and he's looking to have another programme 3, so I don't see that that's an option to put Starke in from the tapes.
Agreed.
He has 2 more rides of his own to take, and one of Darryl RITCHINGS. That will make his 7 rides for the evening.
And on screen there you can see that Tobias Thompson hasn't removed his helmet, and he's putting a fresh tear off onto his goggles, so that does imply that he's going to be coming again. Chance to look at it again in real time. Just the slightest tweak from Drew Kemp.
Yeah, Drew sucked him in there, didn't he, a little bit?
Well, I don't think it was sucking him in so much, but it was just a little tweak, and when the riders are keyed up on the gate, you know, the slightest thing will make them go, and that's what happened, I think, that time round.
Well, I thought the rules were you had to stay still at the start.
Sometimes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All right, update on.
I know it's a better rule than having all that big lunging from back in the 70s from a rolling starter 3 yards back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was Tobias Thompson who barreled through.
We're just waiting to hear what the stadium announcement is going to tell us. Yes, we hear that Tobias Thompson will go from the 15-metre handicap.
Yeah, the only option for me really with Starke having 3 more rides to go and having taken 4, looks like there's an issue with the foot peg, and it's coming off the spare by the looks of things.
15 metres effectively on gate 4. And 2 minutes has already been sailed.
So there's Richard Lawson being pushed away there by Martin Satchell to get him underway. Danyon Hume in the white helmet, he's underway as well. Drew Kemp out the traps, and he's coming towards the start. The activity is in pit lane now to get Tobias Thompson underway and over to the gate here before the clock runs down to 0. We're on 1:16 at the moment, so he's got a bit to do.
Yeah, Midlow will be timing it on his own stopwatch.
We're going to be using the stamp method, I think, there to put it straight.
Everything seems to be out of the way. 50 seconds to get round to the start.
You got to say though that when a rider gets put into this position, it's unenviable, isn't it? It's a rush. His concentration is probably shot. He just needs to get out there and get to the tapes, but his normal routine probably has been totally disrupted by the antics that have gone on to get him to where he is. So good to see Tobias on track after that tumble, but whether he'll be able to make an impression on the race from that 15-metre place, well, time only will tell.
Yeah, when you're riding at number 2 on the home side, heat 10 is your last race as well. So a little unfortunate to be going off a 15, but there we go. So all the riders the same. And it looks like a problem also at the start again for Tobias Thompson.
Who's dropped the exhaust pipe off the
Exhaust
bike.
pipes fell off of his bike on his start, but that doesn't change anything for Lawson. He made it off of 2 and
So
he's
Richard
gone.
Lawson's out front and away with the mixer. The Bandits again just tucking into the minor positions, and Tobias Thompson is walking disconsolately back to the pit lane. Richard Lawson there makes a clean break, gets over Drew Kemp and heads off into the sunset, as it were, with Hume and Kemp side by side, just filling the minor placings. As they come around the car park turn, there's a lap to go, and Richard Lawson looks to be home and hosed.
Yeah, Lawson's still out front. Danyon HUME and Drew Kemp having their own little private race. He's just looked over his shoulder to see Tobias Thompson on centre green. So it's a win for the rider in red, followed by yellow, followed by white. And there is no fourth finisher. There is your fourth finisher. Tobias Thompson looking pretty sorry for himself there, walking across track.
Here's your result then of heat to number 10, the win for Richard Lawson there, red helmet colour for the Pirates. Second place eventually went to Drew Kemp in yellow for the Bandits. Third in white was Danyon HUME, also with the Bandits. No score that time for Tobias Thompson. 3-3 the heat result, and 38 to the Pirates, 22 to the Bandits in 61.67 seconds. 61.67. And no sooner heat 10 finishes than the riders are out for heat number 11, and Louis Kerr first to show, and Poole Starke on his way in a normal programmed ride. Those heat 11 stats there give you the impression that it's going to be a shared heat, don't they? That seems to be the most popular outcome, failing which it's a big one for the visitors.
Riding from the number 1 gate position in red, Louis Kerr. In blue from gate number 3, Poole Starke. In gate number 2, he was a winner last time back in heat number 9 for the Bandits, Craig Cook. And gate number 4, also a winner from his last appearance. In heat number 8 is...
So here we go then. Here's your lineup for heat 11. Sponsored by Link Fabrication. In gate 1 in red is Louis Kerr. 2 wins out of 2 for him this evening for the Pirates. In gate 2 is Craig Cook. He's in white for the Bandits. Looked very speedy last time out. Gate 3, Poole Starke in blue for the Pirates. And out on gate 4, he won last time out, Sam Hagen in yellow for the Bandits. See the 2-minute clock running down to now about 15 seconds and the riders will all come in. Kerr looks to have had a good one off the inside, but look at that from Cook. He's there, goes out to the dirt. We said he was quick last time out, and he's done all the hard work on turns 1 and 2, and he's out there now for Kerr to chase.
And it's Sam Hagon who's also finding a lot of drive there, and he's past Paul Starke, and he's got Louis Kerr in second place at the moment. He's in his sights. Craig Cook finding his best lines around Wimborne Road so far this time round, leading out Louis Kerr. Sam Hagon in third place, Paul Starke at the back. So it's been a good work for Craig Cook. He leads them out, a lap to go.
Yeah, Cookie's been good out front. The battle's between the two in third and fourth, but Hagon seems to be holding on to that for the Bandits as well. It's a win for the rider in white, red, yellow and blue as they come over the line.
Taking a second race win for the Bandits in heat number 11, the rider in white, Craig Cook.
There's Craig Cook just heading straight back to the pits. Certainly got himself dialed in the last two races, so good stuff from him. Here's your heat 11 result. A win for Craig Cook there, winning for the Bandits. In second place in red for the Pirates was Louis Kerr. Third in yellow coming through from the back was Sam Hagon for the Bandits, and the fourth finisher was Paul Starke for the Pirates. 4-2 in favour of the Bandits that time around, and it's 40 points to the Pirates and 26 to the Bandits.
Yeah, first heat advantage for the Bandits there this evening.
Overall, 26 to the Bandits.
And that all coincides with Craig Cook finding a bit of speed. We know he can be quick here.
He wasn't quite there from the gate, but over the next sort of 20 to 30 metres he found it and got enough to clamp Louis Kerr down on the line. So well done to Craig. Nice to see him riding well. One of those riders who is very high on confidence when he's going well. He's hard to stop.
It's son and grandson opening.
Never in doubt corner there. The Pirates fans over by the pits. Travel to many, many away tracks as well as being at home. And there's a new grader. A couple of weeks back that was introduced to the track, and that one I think you can adjust with an adjustable ram and adjust the angle of the grader apparently.
Do you want to know about the grader?
Yes, please.
It's the old one from Wolverhampton.
Oh, very much so. Well, that's very nice indeed.
Yeah. Useless information, but it had become available, and Dan Ford shelled out a few bob, and I understand from Terry the Track that it's the one that used to be used at Wolverhampton. Here we go with the team scores tonight so far. On the Pirate side, Richard Lawson 8-1, unbeaten so far by an opponent. Tobias Thompson 6 from 4 rides. Anders Rowe 5-1 from 3 rides. Zach Cook 7-1 from 3. Louis Kerr 8 from 3. Paul Starke 6-2 from 5. And no score there. Darryl RITCHINGS, of course, withdrawn. Over on the Berwick side, Craig Cook comes to the party with 9 from 4 rides. Sam Hagon 4 from 4 rides. Danyon HUME 3-1 from 3. Drew Kemp 3 from 3. Leon Flint 3 from 3. Dayle Wood 1-1 from 2. And Jack Smith 3-1 from 3 rides.
There we go. Suffering a little bit with the feedback, but yes, congratulations. You are expecting, you're engaged.
And the visiting 1 and 2 there, just out having a chat about what's going on.
Let's get some boys going in the grandstand and support the Pirates.
Craig Cook's joined the Mustachio Club, Scotty.
It does look like it. I thought it was Dayle Wood there for a minute.
Well, what are we going to put? Paco number 1, Dayle Wood number 2, Cookie number 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. We got our 1, 2, 3. You watch, next time we see him, he won't have one at all. He's shaved it off. We look a right pair of clowns. Well, we do anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, it makes no difference there, mate.
Oh, look, there. Ah, yes, yeah. Wonder how much that costs to replace.
Yeah, very good question. I wouldn't like to hazard a guess. We saw him having a kick and a shove there, didn't we, earlier? And maybe that foot peg wasn't going back past the exhaust.
Yeah.
Josh Goodwin there working on Zach Cook's bike.
Josh is a very good sidecar driver, isn't he, on the grass, Scotty?
Yeah, but a little bit better than that. He rides a 500cc sidecar. Some would say that one goes round backwards, the thousands go the other way, but yeah. More than established in the British scene, travelling abroad on many occasions, riding in Holland and Germany and all sorts of places. And of course, let's not forget he keeps down a job as well. That's why he's kind of here helping out Zach weekly to try and fund his racing habit.
So Paul Starke's bike there being disassembled, no doubt ready to be reassembled in another place. Seats off by the look of it. Goodness me, that's some work to do on that one. And Paul Starke still potentially with 2 rides to come.
Heat 12, sponsored by Fry's
3 if you count the Richings ride as well.
Services to industry and home.
That's the 2-minute signal for heat number 12 now.
Oh yeah, 2. He's just had 11, hasn't he? Yeah. I think we're still on heat 10. Sorry about that, mate.
Oh, that's all right. Comes with age, Scotty.
Yeah, it was my birthday 2 weeks ago, so yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
I suppose you've been up since about 4 o'clock this morning ploughing the fields, have you?
No, it's a bit too hard for that at the moment. Ground's too hard.
You could still got up at 4:30 in the morning, though.
Yeah, I probably did, yeah. I was awake.
On gate number 2, finding himself a sweet spot down there on the starting line.
This is a late night out for me.
Dayle Wood.
Coming to Speedway, it's a late night out.
Joining them for all the Pirates then, in the red helmet colour from gate number 1, Anders Rowe. And in the blue helmet colour, taking a reserve switch on behalf of Darryl RITCHINGS. It's been a busy night, and another race indeed for Poole Starke.
So here we go then, it's heat 12, sponsored by Fry's Electrical Limited. And in gate 1 in red, it's Anders Rowe for the Pirates. In gate 2 is Dayle Wood in yellow for the Bandits. Gate 3 in blue is Poole Starke for the Pirates, busy man. And in gate 4 in white, the ever-trying, hard-charging Danyon HUME, captain of the Bandits.
So here we go then, riders at the line, race 12.
Away we go, and it looks like a good one from the Pirates once more. Poole Starke out front, but going around the outside, the rider in white, Danyon HUME, who's hard charged all evening, really put some work in there to get in front.
Yeah, great work there for Danyon. Just kept it wound on, got right round the outside of both the Pirates boys, and it looks like if he can settle, he'll be okay for a win in this race. So Danyon HUME leads it out. Poole Starke runs in second place. Anders Rowe third. Dayle Wood is away at the back at the moment. Danyon HUME there, coming around car park turn with a race to go. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, looking really good and attacking the track and taking that wide dirt line. Knows the place well. We said it at the start of the meeting, a former Pirate, and he takes the win in heat 12. White, blue, red and yellow as they come over the line.
In heat number 7, that man in heat number 12, the winner in white, Danyon HUME.
So here comes Danyon on screen. He'll get a good ovation from the crowd here at Wimborne Road. He was a very favourite rider when he was here in 2021, and he's kept that popularity going. Here's your race result of heat number 12. A win for Danyon HUME there in white for the Bandits. Second place to Poole Starke in blue for the Pirates. Third in red for the Pirates was Anders Rowe. Dayle Wood was the fourth finisher there in the yellow helmet. 3 to each team. 43 to the Pirates, 29 to the Bandits, in a winning time of 62.98. 62.98.
After 12 races then, 43 to the Pirates, 29 to the Bandits. Winner's time again, 62.98.
Heat 13, sponsored by Global Heating, providing plumbing and heating services for Dorset.
2 minutes now for heat number 13.
So let's look at the stats there for heat number 13. Again, looking at the visitors' successes there, they're pretty scant with nothing on the scoreboard. Shared heats, fair, but mainly advantages Pirates from 5 meetings here at Wimborne Road this year. So there we go, that's your stats in heat number 13, and Scotty's going to give you the rundown in a minute on the riders for one of the big races of the night.
Yeah, heat 13, always the interest one, the 1s and the 5s. Sponsored by Global Heating. In gate 1 is Craig Cook in white for the Bandits. In gate 2 is Richard Lawson in red for the Pirates. Gate 3 is Leon Flint, the guest for the Bandits this evening, in white. And in gate 4, Louis Kerr in blue for the Pirates.
Yeah, Leon Flint having a tough night at the moment, just 3 points from his 3 outings. I'm sure Stewart DICKSON would have been expecting a little bit more from the Glasgow man given his current form, but it's so far not materialised. But he's got a chance of putting it to rights in heat number 13, just to prove us commentators who think that he ain't going to do anything completely wrong.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because Craig Cook has won his last 2 outings. Up we go and away we go, and Craig Cook's made a beauty again, and Flint's gone with him. And the Bandits were looking on a 5-1, but Richard Lawson has just flown by Craig Cook. Now he's looking at the outside of Leon Flint, and he's gone round there as well.
Move over, brother, coming through. Lawson, ruthless, relentless, putting those Bandit boys in their place. Now it's down to him to take it away for a shared heat, because the Pirates, Louis Kerr in blue, he's not in this one. The Bandits boys have tucked into second and third. They're going to share the heat this time round unless there's any unforeseen difficulties. But Lawson there, look over his left shoulder, he can see there's daylight, lots of it between himself and the Bandit pairing.
Yeah, Lawson looking really good out front. Managed to pass both Bandits. It's a win for the rider in red, yellow, white and blue as they come over the line.
Ray Williams on his way to a paid maximum from 4 rides. Your appreciation, please, as he comes round to see your applause, Richard Lawson.
And here he comes to get the ovation from the crowd, rightly slow. He's had to work really hard tonight for his points, and exciting stuff for the fans here at Poole Stadium.
So here comes your heat 13 result. It's a win for the rider in red, Richard Lawson, for the Pirates. He picks up the 3 points. In second is Leon Flint in yellow. He picks up a couple for the Bandits. Third is Craig Cook in white. And at the back, Louis Kerr in blue for the Pirates. 3-all is the heat score as the result of heat 13. 60.81 was the time for Richard Lawson. And the match score after 13 heats, it's 46 to the Pirates, 32 to the Bandits.
Second in yellow, Leon Flint. Third in white, Craig Cook. Fourth in blue, Louis Kerr.
Yeah, so there we go. That's Heat 13, the Battle of the Big Guns, done and dusted. And hats off to Leon Flint for picking himself up there and putting a couple of useful points on the board for the Bandits. There we go, Heat 14, your match statistics there. Bit of a mixed bag, really. Nothing maximum-wise for the visitors, but the other race results spread out quite evenly over the course of the 5 matches here this evening.
Winning time for Heat 13 again, 60.81. This is Heat 14. Riders under 2 minutes. In the red helmet for the Pirates on gate 3, Captain Zach Cook.
So here we go then, the lineup for Heat 14. This one's sponsored by Maidment Properties Limited in gate 1. And his last rider of the night, Poole Starke in blue for the Pirates. In gate 2 in white, Drew Kemp for the Bandits. Indifferent night for him. Gate 3, Zach Cook in red for the Pirates. And in gate 4 in yellow is Jack Smith for the Bandits.
So the riders just getting themselves into position there. The countdown clock shows there's just about 30 seconds now till the expiry of the time limit, and start marshal's just encouraging all 4 riders to move forward into their appropriate positions, ready to get racing underway as we go to the penultimate race of the night, heat number 14.
Tapes are up and away we go. And it's a good one from the Pirates duo. Starke round the inside, Rowe round the outside. Rowe now looking to stretch his legs. Starke really hammered into that bottom turn. And it's Drew Kemp comes under him in white for the Bandits.
Yeah, the big locker didn't do Starke any good there, and it allowed Drew Kemp through to pick up a second place. Out front, Zach Cook going nicely for the Pirates, be his 3rd win of the night if he gets home. Sure he's going to. Drew Kemp in second in white for the Bandits. Poole Starke just covering things off in 3rd place for the Pirates, and Jack Smith, unfortunately, not really with it on the track tonight at the back for the Pirates, for the Bandits. So 1 to go, and Zach Cook looks like he's going to be taking it home.
Yeah, Zach looking good out there. In Heat 14, he loves being in Heat 14 and generally wins it. It's red, white, blue and yellow as they come over the line as the result of Heat 14.
Over the line for his 3rd win of the night in the red for the Pirates, our captain, Zach Cook, everyone!
Really nice win there from Zach Cook, but you have to give credit. Drew Kemp took a chance around the outside there. Here's your Heat 14 result. It's a win for Zach Cook in red for the Pirates. 2nd, and a good 2nd place for Drew Kemp in white for the Bandits. In 3rd, Poole Starke. He's been a busy man all night in blue for the Pirates, and at the back, Jack Smith in yellow for the Bandits. It's a 4-2 heat score as a result of Heat 14, and the time was 62 seconds dead. The match score after 14 heats is 50 to the Pirates, 34 to the Bandits. They've won the meeting with 1 heat to spare.
Winning time again, 62 seconds exactly. Well, 1 race remains, heat number 15 it is, of course. It's a nominated race. The team managers will make their nominations for Heat 15.
Zach Cook and Richard Lawson having discussions. We like to have a little guess of seeing who's who. There's our sponsors of the evening. I think that's Bell's Decor, and they are out to see the last couple of heats, part of the sponsorship deal of when you sponsor a meeting. And I can tell you it is much fun to watch a race from the centre green. You see how close the riders get. It looks totally different from the inside. And that's centre green. Dan Ford there in amongst those sponsors, Lee Tyres as well, who's been doing a grand job going round the crowd in the interval breaks during track gradings. A new addition to the Pirates show here, and one I quite like actually. So here we are on the Bandits side. We're having a look to see who's looking to go out in heat 15. Sam Masters there, and Martin Goodwin, his dad, having a chat about Hagen, sorry. I do get mixed up. As soon as it says Sam, you all think Masters, don't you? No, Sam Hagen there. Former Pirate. Drew Kemp there as well. Taking in a little bit of sustenance to renew the energy. Danyon HUME there. So it looks to me like Hagen's going out in yellow for the Bandits. You can see everybody still in t-shirts here this evening. Temperatures have been warm all day and they're still warm this evening. No coats or jackets needed here. As we pop round to the pool side again. Lawson gloving up. Oh, I don't mean for a boxing match, although it could get tight going into turn 1 here in heat 15. The way the wages work, the riders get paid on performances and points, so there's no race they don't want to be getting points in. Looks like Zach Cook putting the blue helmet colour back on. He's in blue all evening here when he's at home from number 4, and just one race, which is heat 14, but he gets to ride the red helmet colour. Paul Starke looking pretty clapped out there. He's had a busy night as that man. Louis Kerr unlucky not to get the nod tonight, but he's tailed off as towards the end of the meeting. Probably the reason not included in heat 15. Poole won the toss and took 1 and 3 at the start of the evening, so the Bandits will get the choice of gates here in heat 15. It will be interesting to see which they choose.
All right, so you're ready. Stand by for the lineup for heat number 15. It looks like this. And I bet you can make it sound great over there in the grandstand. So make some noise first of all for the rider in red, Richard Lawson. Perfect, well executed. And the same again, please, for the rider in blue, Zach Cook.
Danyon HUME there.
For the Bandits, the rider in white, Danyon HUME. And in yellow, Sam Hagen. So your heat 15 lineup would look like this. It's Richard Lawson in red, Zach Cook in blue, Danyon HUME in white, Sam Hagen in yellow. The Bandits get the choice of gate positions.
So the Pirates there already out on track. Matt Ford having sent a message. Thank you very much, Matt.
Make some noise for your favourites as they come back.
If it's as warm in the south of France as it is here, you've had an absolute scorcher today, I'm imagining. So here we go then. The riders are at tapes, and here's your heat 15 lineup. Sponsored by Moorish Homes. No, Upright Scaffolding Services, sorry. Sponsored by Upright Scaffolding Services. Gate 1 in white, Danyon HUME for the Bandits. He's their captain. Gate 2 in red is Richard Lawson for the Pirates, the Rocket Man. Gate 3 in yellow is Sam Hagen for the Bandits. And in gate 4 in blue the Pirates captain, Zach Cook. And hi to Zach's mum and dad, Mick and Liz, if you're watching from Australia. Always a pleasure to have you. Last bit of Alan Titmarsh going on here. Titmarsh, sorry. Bit of gardening by the riders, heat 15. Always a good one. A very young gun look for all the Bandits coming into this one. With Hume and Hagon. I was hoping we'd have seen Craig Cook come out again and take on the Pirates, but not to be. So the riders come to tapes. Start marshal ready and away we go. And it's the Pirates duo out front. A bit of snaking on the tail there from Sam Hagen as he left the start, and that left him a bike length behind going into turn one. And it's Zach Cook and Richard Lawson out front for the Pirates in heat 15. Hagen takes a tight line, but it does look to me like the Pirates are away with it here. A gap now forming between the front two and the back two as we come into the last lap. It's all over bar mechanical mistake or malfunction for the Pirates. Richard Lawson pops a little wheelie there coming out of turn two on the last lap. Looks over his shoulder. Zach Cook takes the win. It's blue, red, yellow and white as they come over the line. It's a 5-1 heat advantage to the Pirates. There are your winning Pirates of heat 15. Rapturous applause from the fans. They were looking for a big win tonight. They certainly got one. So here's your confirmation of the HIF 15 result. It's a win for Zach Cook in blue, the captain. He takes heat 15 in second in red with Richard Lawson, his partner, in third. Sam Hagen in yellow, not too distantly far back. And in fourth in white was Danyon HUME for the Bandits. The heat result was a 5-1 advantage for the Pirates. 62.16 was the time. And the match score after 15 heats here at Wimborne Road is 55 to the Pirates, 35 to the Bandits. There's your aggregate score, 99 to 81. 99 being my favourite ice cream this time of year, and it's been a hot enough day for one.
22 points, 99 over 81 was the total on aggregate.
So as you can see, some very happy fans leaving Wimborne Road this evening. We've got a rider in Tobias Thompson over with Rob Dyer on centre green for an interview.
Tobias, a good night for the team and for you, an eventful night with lots of things happening.
Yeah, you can say that. It's a big win for us guys, and 3 points on tonight on the table. Now we're really in lead in the table, and that's the main thing.
We saw you in your last race hit the tapes there. You seem to loop over the top of the bike and come down very hard. Are you okay after that?
Yeah, it's only the pride, mate. I want more points. That's always how it is. Drew trusts the tapes. I know that because I saw it, and then I went and the tape started to move up and caught my helmet and then pulled me back over. So, and then hit the exhaust on the way back and cracked it. So in the rerun, I dropped my exhaust on the line. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of bad luck in the end, but the win.
Pushed back to the 15-meter line, made it hard work tonight.
Yeah, of course it did, but then my exhaust cracked and fell off, so I couldn't do nothing anyways, but it is what it is. We won big tonight, and that's the main thing.
and now you have a couple of weeks off to recover, relax, recuperate, and come again for the big meeting against Glasgow shortly.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I speak for all of us. We really don't want that big of a break, because it's better when the ball are rolling, you know, and we have meetings week in and week out. Now we have 2 weeks off. It's not good for anyone, but that's how it is.
Thanks for your time tonight, Tobias.
Right,
Congratulations, and good on Team Poole.
Thanks.
How the work was done. We'll start with the Bandits side. 10+1 for Craig Cook. Was a surprise to not see him in Heat 15. Sam Hagen came good towards the end of the night with 5. Danyon Hume always trying, 6+1 for him. 5 for Drew Kemp, 5 for Leon Flint. Dayle Wood and Jack Smith failed to trouble the scorers too much. 1 for Dayle Wood, 3 for Jack Smith. We go across to the Pirates side, and Richard Lawson leading the line again, 13+2 for him. Tobias Thompson, 6. Anders Rowe, 6+2 for him. Zach Cook, a really good night for him, 13+1. Louis Kerr started the evening well, come a little bit unstuck in Heat 13 with the gate draw, but 8 points for him. Paul Starke, very busy night for him, 9+2. And unfortunately, not a busy night at all for Darryl RITCHINGS, having crashed in the first start of the evening in Heat 2 and took no further part in the meeting.
I need to speak to this man because he took a real pearler. It did look nasty.
So the next home meeting on the live stream is a BSN meeting in the Cab Direct Championship, and that will be the Pirates versus the Glasgow Tigers. And will we see William Cairns for the first time as a Pirate? So all that's left to say is goodbye from us here at the Pirates TV crew. Our main cameraman Rob Haywood, roaming camera Paul Hague, presenting commentator Scott Mitchell, interviewer and commentator Rob Dyer, stadium presenter Nigel Leahy, producer and director in the dungeon Andy Hague. All that's left to say is goodbye and God bless, and please join us again here on Pirates TV next time.
He went inside outside, he played it up.